What's up, guys? It's your girl, Legal Beast. How y'all doing today? Well, I popped on live earlier, so that was fun. But I am coming on right now. Today's lesson: do not make a statement to the police. Don't do it. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. I don't know what it is about that people don't understand. So, point blank period. Let's start here. So, first things first. Police have the right. Ooh, shaky. No, seriously though. Police have the right to lie to you. And they regularly do that. Not only do they have the right to lie to you, they often will lie to you to see if they can get some type of admission from you. They look at that as an investigatory tool to see what they can get you to admit without having to place you under Miranda or anything like that. If a police officer, if you encounter the police for whatever reason, and they're asking you about your day, where you're going, where you went, what you're doing, etc., you don't have to tell them at all, ever, at any time. Do you ever have to tell the police where you're going, where you're coming from, what you're doing, what you're doing at a particular location? You don't have to tell them anything about your day. Where your day is, where you're coming from, where you're going in regards to your day, how you're going to end your day up. Because they are looking for something and a reason. Always. And they have the right to lie to you in order to do that. And that's what I think a lot of people forget, is that they feel like if they, they just need to tell their side. They just need to tell their side, and as long as they tell their side, it'll be fine. That is not true. That is not true. Oh, one more thing. That's not true at all. So let's start here. Police interaction. If you are stopped in a vehicle, wherever you're going, you do not have to tell them where you're going or where you're coming from. You have to give them your license, insurance, registration, have it readily available. Hopefully don't have it somewhere in the back seat or anything like that, which gives them a reason to get you out of the car for officer safety so that they can get it for you. Because what they're trying to do is look for anything that could be in plain sight that they can investigate or appear to be contraband. So make sure that your person in the back, whatever, make sure that when you're driving, your insurance, registration, and your license are all up front. Make sure that's readily available. Next, yes, you have to give it to them because obviously you're on the roads. But if they ask you where you're coming from or where you're going, you can rightfully say, I am not discussing my day. That is not inhibiting an investigation, especially if they're just stopping you for a traffic offense. There is nothing for them to investigate because nothing about your day is going to help them in your traffic offense, okay? So that's another thing. Now, if you are stopped and it's suspected drunk driving or under the influence, and they say, oh, we smell intoxicants, have you had anything to drink? I am not discussing or admitting my day. You can absolutely say that. If they ask you to get out of the car because they smell intoxicants, then obviously you would have to get out the car, field sobriety test, submit to a PBT or breathalyzer. Then you need to do those things if you're stopped based upon the reason of intoxicated driving. And yes, you can ask them, why are they stopping you? And they are supposed to tell you why they're stopping you. Do not make any admissions about coming from somewhere where alcohol could have even been served, i.e. Applebee's, Chili's, Outback, any place like that, Bar Louie. Any of those places where alcohol is served, what are you going to say? I'm not discussing my day. That's what you're going to say. Now, if you're walking down the street and an officer approaches you and they ask you for your name or anything like that, you absolutely have the right to not answer them. Because even just, It's not an investigation, but they can ask you what your name is. It's just like I hate having a little brain freeze of the term that they refer to it, but just that little communication. You can absolutely say, not discussing my day, I'm not giving you my name. That is not impeding or inhibiting an investigation because you're not giving them your name. You don't have to. You are not under any lawful order to do so, and as long as you are not detained, you absolutely don't have to. If an officer says that you are being detained, ask them why. And are you under arrest? Because that phrase of being detained and under arrest takes into consideration, brings into light different implications. Specifically, if they are questioning you about something that could result in, you telling on yourself, essentially, then you are supposed to be read your Miranda rights. That is when Miranda has to be read. Every interaction with the police does not require a Miranda warning. The only time a Miranda warning has to be given is if you are being interrogated by the police. And when I say interrogated, it doesn't necessarily have to be in the little room, which is you and the officer and a camera or a body camera, whatever. An interrogation is essentially the questioning of an individual where they are investigating a crime or potential criminal acts. That is when Miranda has to be read, when they are investigating alleged criminal acts. Other than that, Miranda does not have to be read or recited to you. Another thing, if you are in a situation where you are in a vehicle, a passenger in a vehicle, and you've been stopped, you do not have to give your full name. You do not have to give them any information. There is no reason to investigate you in that stop. And yes, can they be completely unruly when it comes to some things? Absolutely. But that does not mean you waive your rights. Maintain your rights. You do not have to consent to the search of your purse, your bag, your book bag, anything like that. You do not have to consent to a search at all. And even if you're in the passenger in a vehicle, you still do not have to consent to a search of your things, and they are not entitled. Well, in Michigan, they cannot just readily search your things. Fourth Amendment search and seizure, rules apply nationally. Okay, there are slight nuances and variations, but it applies nationally. Okay. If you are in a position where the officer is asking you questions, you do not have to say anything. The moment you say, I invoke my right to remain silent, or I'm not answering any questions, I will wait on my attorney, I need to call my attorney, questioning is supposed to stop. Now, do they continue to question sometimes? Absolutely, to see if they can get you to crack, to see if they can get you to go against your best interest in telling them what they want to hear, a little tidbit, a little piece of information for them to run with. So absolutely, you don't waive your right to remain silent, because here's another thing. A lot of people like to yell out that, oh, it's hearsay, all hearsay. There are exceptions to hearsay, and you telling on yourself is an exception to hearsay. Okay, so now what do we learn today? Okay, you have the absolute right to shut the fuck up. Whenever you can, employ the right to shut the fuck up. Always shut the fuck up and ask for your attorney. Okay, happy Friday.